FDIC.
News and talk. Chicago's News Talk 89 WLS.
Welcome to your best source of information and opinion. Don Wade and Roma on News Talk 89 WLS. It's 6:42, 18 until 7 o'clock. Before we get to Hillary, one other thing. President Clinton himself would go ballistic if anybody slurred a White House aide's religion. But the amazing thing is that he is winking at his aide, Sid Blumenthal's attack on Ken Starr's top deputy as a fanatic evangelical Christian. Now, Abe Foxman of the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith thinks that a foul should be called on Sid Vicious Blumenthal. He says this Blumenthal statement crosses the line. There's no room for introducing a religious component or factor into this debate. It was at a speech at Harvard that Blumenthal said that Hickman Ewing, the deputy independent counsel, is a religious fanatic, apparently because he's an evangelical who prays daily.
Okay, well, that's an aide.
Now, wait a minute. Let me make this point. You would think that Bill Clinton, who goes to church on Sunday and is a passionate critic of divisive rhetoric, would be a little embarrassed by Sid Blumenthal's crack. But when he was asked about it, he said, I don't have any comment about that. Mike McCurry said Bill Clinton has full confidence in Sid Vicious Blumenthal. And now, you have to understand that Sid Blumenthal is one of the two people that Bill Clinton is claiming executive privilege for.
Yes, we all know that.
You wouldn't allow a presidential aide to slander the beliefs of Catholics or Jews. It seems no different when the target is evangelical Christians. And this begs an interesting question. First daughter, Chelsea, her new boyfriend, the swimming champ, Matthew Pierce. He belongs to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and he majors in religious studies. Does Sid Blumenthal count Chelsea's boyfriend as a religious fanatic?
That is going too far. Who cares what Sidney Blumenthal counts? Who cares what he counts? Chelsea's boyfriend.
The point is about Sid Blumenthal. It's now 16 until 7. Let's go to the First Lady. Let's bring the whole family in. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton touched off the firestorm yesterday with remarks supporting the creation of a Palestinian state on the same footing as other states. The furor began when the First Lady said, this is a quote from Hillary, "It would be in the long-term interests of peace in the Middle East for there to be a state of Palestine, a functioning modern state that is on the same footing as other states." She said this on the Voice of America. She made the remarks in a satellite interview on WorldNet. This is the United States Information Agency. Israeli officials are adamantly opposed to the creation of a Palestinian state. And the First Lady's press secretary quickly put out a damage control statement after Fox News broke the story here. And they said this is their damage control statement. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton made comments on the status of a Palestinian state. These remarks are her own personal view. The administration position on this matter has not changed, said Marcia Berry.
Well, doesn't she have a right to her own personal view? Because she's not speaking for the nation.
You know, sometimes people have to learn when it's judicious to keep quiet.
Well, it endorses, of course, Yasser Arafat's view.
Well, exactly.
And that's upsetting.
So here they are in the round of negotiations. We got U.S. officials in London. We've got Netanyahu pressing the State Department mediators for promises that if Israel enters the final status talks, the U.S. would refuse to recognize a Palestinian state. And who pops up? Big Mouth. Hillary jumps right in. Both feet stuck firmly in her big, fat mouth. Now, at some point, somebody has to tell her to shut up. You know, there is a point when outrage has to reach even those who are political allies. Because when you're dealing with foreign policy, even the tone of your voice can affect bombs and bullets.
But she is not an elected official of our government, and she has the right to bring up this issue. Is it taboo to bring up the thought of a parallel Palestinian state?
You would think at this delicate moment in the Middle East negotiations, when we have Netanyahu on the one hand saying 9%, I won't give 13%. Arafat says, I'll do this. I will capitulate. The president is trying to delicately bring these people together. And Hillary? What do you suppose was behind that? What do you suppose
she was speaking to the Seeds of Peace Mideast Youth Conference, Youth Summit. And so she was obviously addressing a way that she felt peace could be achieved, and that is to give them a state so that they won't constantly, except of course the state that Arafat has always declared that he is going to rule over will have its capital in Jerusalem, which causes all
it's one
hell to break loose.
One thing to have an interesting conversation about the pros and cons of various situations, but it's quite another to have the First Lady, who is claiming executive privilege for her comments because she is supposedly a semi-official government figure.
Well, she's not an official figure.
But wait a minute. On the one hand, she wants to claim the protection of office, but then when she makes an absolutely irresponsible remark, which could affect world affairs, you want to say, oh no, she's not a government official, she's just speaking her own private mind.
Well, it does create complications here, because this is a time when many allies of Israel are accusing Bill Clinton and the Clinton administration of taking Arafat's side against Netanyahu, because they've issued this ultimatum, and there's a certain faction in Israel who thinks that Netanyahu already capitulates too much to the U.S. So he's in a real pickle already, and this doesn't help, I will admit that. But she is not an official. She gave her personal opinion, and it didn't help.
Is that Ann in Park Ridge? Hi, Ann. You're on WLS.
You're down. Well, I think maybe there should be a separate Palestinian state, too, but I don't think Hillary should be commenting on this at this time. And since she's not an elected official, especially, I mean, for her to be commenting on foreign policy, I think is just totally out of bounds for her.
I guess that's why Barbara Bush always chose not to talk about those things.
Yes, I think that's a very, very wise decision for any First Lady to make. I think Hillary should clam up.
Thank you. All right. It's 10 minutes to 7, the WLS Chicagoland weather.
Cooler today, periods of showers and a few thunderstorms. Today's high 65. Tonight there's a 70% chance of rain, low of 50. And tomorrow, 40% chance of showers, high of 66.
It's 57 at O'Hare. Oh, I didn't do the marine forecast. Yeah. East to northeast winds 15 to 20 knots, increasing to northeast 15 to 25 knots. Showers and thunderstorms, waves 2 to 4. Building to 4 to 6. A small craft advisory may be issued later this morning. 57 at O'Hare, 59 at Midway, DuPage 58, Lakefront 58, 9 minutes to 7, the WLS traffic. Rick Federici.